So we've shifted our htdocs from this one to this one. Okay, so now let's make it more comfortable. So first of all, what if we want to specify a folder? We don't want to do it from here. We want to do it inside a folder. So that's easy peasy. Let me close this. Let's create a new folder here that we're going to make. And this folder will be www. You can name it anything you want. Let's move our index page in there so that now we can have a website in here. Okay, so well and good. I can close this now because it's not linked anymore. So let's try this again. Open PHP, php.exe, s localhost 1000. Now, what we're going to do is to tell it that we want to move the base folder into this one. We'll leave a space, type -t www, like that. So that www represents the folder. So if you have a different folder name, just put that name there instead of the www and put the slash there and hit enter. Great. So now if I refresh, I should not see any difference, and that's exactly what happened. The server is running. Okay, so now the problem is the server runs with the command line like this, so you might not want to see this command line, but the command line is good for debugging because it shows you exactly where it's reading and so on, whether the port is open or closing or whatever it is. But you may not want this, so let's see how to get rid of this. Okay, so let me come back here, back to our folder. Okay, so let me close that. Once I close that and I try to refresh here, you will see that it will say unable to connect, because the moment you close the command line, you close the server. So now what we will do is we'll use Vbscript to start our command line in the background so that we don't have to see it. Okay, so let's come back here, because I'm sure you've noticed by now that if you have to type this every time that you are you want to launch the server, it's going to become a bit a pain in the butt. So there's a better way to do it, and that's using Vbscript. So let's come back here and write a little script. So now this is Visual Basic. Windows allows us to run simple scripts, that actually very powerful scripts directly in Windows that are based on Visual Basic. So let's create a simple script here. Let's say something like set obj is equal to, now obj is just a variable name, so it can be anything. So it's just because I'm creating an object, so I'm naming it obj. So I'll say create object. Now at this point you don't really have to pay attention because you don't need to learn this language at all. It's just going to be 3 lines that we are typing here, and you can just copy it as it is. So I'm creating a shell object here. That's what I'm doing, like this. No semicolon because this is Visual Basic. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I create an object. This object is created and it's a shell object. The reason it's a shell object is because I want to run commands. So once I set it, and then I set it to no or nothing. So I create it and empty it. But in between here, let me save this file. I'll save it right here as a start. Make sure you save it as .vbs, very important. And when we come to our folder, it will look like this, meaning it can run as a script. So if I try to run it now, it won't do anything. But the fact that we haven't seen any errors means we are good to go, because if I do this now, I will see an error because I have added a syntax error there. Okay, so after this, what we want to do is just say obj.run cmd, like this. So I'm telling it to run the command prompt. So let's see if that works. So I could do this. And as you can see, I've opened the command prompt here, but then let's do something more advanced. So exactly this, what we were doing, typing the PHP and all that, we're going to put it in here. php.exe as localhost full colon. Now here's a fun fact. If you look at this, there's localhost full colon 1000 there. So if you don't like this, you don't want to see it, just use port 80, because port 80 is the default port. So usually the browser decides not to show it. So you'll see that in a moment. And then let's put www because that's our folder. And don't forget the /t, like so. Save. So let's see what happens now. Let me do that. Very good. Okay. Very, very good. So at this point, the server has started. So if I go here and refresh, I will see there will be, oh, unfortunately, I forgot that I changed it to 80, right? Enter. So as you can see, it has removed the 80 there. It's just localhost. So if I just type localhost by itself, I get this still, so which is pretty cool. So we are good to go. Now, if you want, once you start this, to also start a browser, it's very simple. You can do the same thing. Just create another run here and say something like Firefox. If you're using Chrome, just type Chrome like this, or whatever browser you're using, just type the executable file's name. So mine is Firefox. You can put .exe at the end if you want, and then you can give it the link that you want it to go to. So here I want it to go to http / localhost, like that, localhost. If there was a port number that's not 80, you would put it there, like so, whatever it is, the port number, just like that. So let's see this in action, right? So it will start the server and open a browser for us. So open, and there we go. So a new tab, and there it is, right? Very cool. But we already have it here, so we'll use that one. Now the issue is we still have these command line thingies here, and we don't want to see these. So to close this, we just put a comma and a 0 at the end of each command, so it will tell Windows to run these guys in the background. So save, and that's it. So let's come back and try this again. Open, and there we go. So now you can't see, you don't see the command line anymore. But how then do you stop the server if you want to stop it? Well, you go to your task manager, and you see here there's PHP. Sometimes it will say CLI, command line interface. You'll see that, and you can end the task there. But this is not a very elegant solution. So what we will do instead, we will use a command again. Just create a new file here, paste, and then let's just leave one. Let's change the command. So there's a command called task kill, like that. Make sure you put those double K's there. /im, and then we'll put the file name php.exe, and we'll save this one as a stop.vbs. Save. Great. So let's close these files. We won't be needing them anymore. So let's come back here. Okay, so let's try this. Let me come back here to refresh the page. I will see that it says unable to connect, but if I come back and start the server, it will open the browser for me, and I can stop the server. If I refresh now that it stopped, it should show me that it's unable to connect. All right, so we've created our development environment. Now what this means is that you can copy just these files here and folders, put them anywhere you want on your flash, in a different location on your computer, and you will still have PHP running because you've created a portable version of PHP which you can use to develop anywhere as long as it's a Windows machine. Okay, so now let's begin our actual coding of the website.